Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping right into a totally uniquely thrilling story. We're talking S-rank magic, reincarnation, and some seriously ultimate payback. We're going to unpack a massive epic journey that perfectly blends high fantasy with, of all things, modern science. Let's get into it.
So what actually happens when a legendary hero marries a literal goddess and their kid turns out to be a reincarnated scientist? Well, you get the wild story of our incredibly overpowered protagonist, Ellen. Now, Ellen isn't just your run-of-the-mill magical prodigy. She's actually a former Japanese materials scientist reborn into a fantasy world. And if that wasn't enough of an advantage, she was raised by her legendary father Roll and her mother Origin, who just so happens to be the absolute queen of spirits.
To really understand how we got to this point, we need to rewind 10 years. Rael had sacrificed his own life force to defeat this massive monster storm, and he completely vanished from the human realm. Everyone, and I mean everyone, thought he was dead. But Origin, the Spirit Queen, actually saved him. 9 years ago, they got married, which turned Rael into this insanely overpowered demi-spirit. 8 years ago, Ellen was born, and now, in the present day, Rael has finally making his secret return to the human world, bringing his immensely powerful daughter right along with him.
Now, because of her past life, Ellen's magic system is just utterly broken. She doesn't cast your generic everyday spells, no. She uses chemistry. By literally recalling chemical formulas and mapping out elements on the periodic table, she manipulates carbon atoms to synthesize perfect S-rank magic diamonds right out of thin air. It is a completely brilliant and honestly terrifying fusion of immense magical power and real-world science.
Exiling the toxic nobles, because Rel's return to the human realm definitely isn't a vacation. He's got some family to save.
So Roll's younger brother Abel is trapped in this absolutely miserable marriage to a woman named Agil. She's a toxic, incredibly greedy noble who manipulated and forced her way into the Vancreef family. But here's the thing, she has absolutely no idea who she's dealing with. Roll is now a demi-spirit with overwhelming divine authority, and he steps back in as the true head of the house to just completely dismantle her.
And the payback here is so incredibly satisfying. At the divorce hearing, Agwell arrogantly claims she's just going to leave Abel so she can marry Roel instead. Yeah, her lies backfire instantly. Magical bindings physically burn directly into her skin, permanently stripping away all of her noble privileges. It's the divine judgment of the goddess Va. Agwell is totally, completely exiled.
The royal family's curse. Getting rid of Agil was honestly just the warm-up.
The stakes quickly shift from this local family drama to a massive kingdom-wide conspiracy. You see, 200 years ago, a past king committed a horrific sin. He sacrificed innocent spirits, using them as bait to defeat a monster storm. Obviously, the spirits didn't take that lightly. In retaliation, those wandering souls placed a permanent curse on the royal bloodline, completely blocking them from ever interacting with spirits again. And now the current monarch, King Rabasil, is absolutely desperate to use Ellen's powers to break this inescapable curse.
So King Rabasil tries to play the manipulator. He invites Roel and Ellen to the castle. But the literal second Ellen steps into the room, the invisible spirits just go violently out of control. They are absolutely terrified of the royal blood, and they start crying out for Ellen's help because, remember, she's the daughter of the Spirit Queen. The spiritual pressure in the room gets so intensely heavy that the king literally faints. It's the exact moment he realizes just how completely outmatched he truly is.
A miracle disease cure. Things escalate from bad to worse when a mysterious crisis erupts. A deadly illness strikes the Vancreef silver mines, and naturally everyone assumes it's a spiritual curse. But remember, Ellen is a scientist. While everyone else is in a full-blown panic over curses and magic, she takes a look and properly diagnoses the miners with pneumoconiosis. It's a very real lung disease caused by breathing in metal dust over many years. Her past life logic just slices right through all the magical superstition. But diagnosing it is only half the battle. To actually save them, Ellen undertakes this grueling, intense process. She locks herself away and desperately starts recalling complex chemical formulas from her past life. Pushing her magical limits to the point of complete physical exhaustion, she actually does it. She successfully synthesizes a miracle antibiotic, curing the miners and instantly earning herself the beloved title of the Healing Princess. The kidnapping and retaliation. Now, creating a miracle medicine is great, but it also makes Ellen the single most valuable person in the kingdom. As this disease starts spreading toward the capital, the royal family makes an unforgivable mistake. The king decides he wants a total monopoly on the cure. So he secretly hires bandits to kidnap Ellen and force her to hand over the chemical formula. But the bandits completely botch the job. Instead of grabbing Ellen, they mistakenly kidnap her cousin, Raphilia. The king basically just lit a fuse that he is going to immediately regret.
Because you absolutely do not mess with a demi-spirit and the queen of spirits. Roll and Origin track down the bandit hideout, and the cinematic tension here is just unbelievable. Roll glares down at the kidnappers and delivers this absolutely chilling line, "Your dirty hands touched something they shouldn't have."
And then, boom, Rule and Origin unleash a combined elemental annihilation. It's a massive celestial strike that completely obliterates the kidnappers, literally wiping their hideout off the map in seconds. Raphilia is safely rescued, but Ellen knows exactly who pulled the strings. She knows it was the king, and she is more than ready to strike back.
Checkmating the greedy king. This is where Ellen proves she isn't just a prodigy in science and magic.
She is a terrifyingly effective political mastermind. Ellen executes a flawless, ruthless checkmate in 3 steps. First, she completely cuts off the medicine supply to the royalty. Second, she uses the surviving bandits to spread rumors that the royals are the ones hoarding the cure. Third, as the disease spreads through the capital, the panicked citizens revolt. They literally trap the king inside his own castle.
The contrast between the two territories is just staggering. While the capital is starving and rioting, the Van Creef lands are absolutely booming. Ellen uses her spirits to create perfect agricultural output and massive medicine sales. Immigrants are flooding into her territory because it's literally the only safe place left. She has completely and totally isolated the king.
And it all leads right to the ultimate payback. King Rabicel himself ends up getting infected. When Ellen and Roll finally appear before him, the once arrogant king is forced to beg on his knees for a cure. Ellen plays the part of the merciful princess perfectly, granting him limited medicine, but the old hierarchy is permanently broken. She establishes absolute dominance, forcing the king to swear he will never, ever touch her family again.
So, with the royal family completely humbled, the Van Creef lands absolutely thriving, and her parents' incredible god-tier powers backing her, Ellen has fundamentally reshaped the world. But you have to wonder, with her S-rank scientific magic continuing to grow and evolve, what kind of new threats is she going to attract next? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you on the next one.